Hi, this is Gabriella Ross coming from the Office of Catechesis. I am joined today by Erin Jeffries, and we are here to share a catechetical resource for you that will help you and your catechists to be able to plan their lessons more effectively, more easily. We know the textbook can be very intimidating, and there is a new tool that came out from our Sunday Visitor through their Alive in Christ series. And it helps to put together lessons online that really caters to your students' strengths and helps to meet all of their needs. So to talk more about that, here is Erin Jeffries.
Thanks, Gabriella. Well, I'm excited to share this lesson plan feature with you, mostly because this is really something that I hope will be helpful for all of your students, not just your students who might have special needs, just to help your catechists more intentionally choose the components of the lessons that they're using. So with that, let's just get started. This is where you'll log in. It's just the Alive in Christ website, parish lesson planning page. If you have not already created an account with them, you'll see there's a spot to register now, and you'll basically just need your name and email address and the ISBN from your teacher's manual, and that will log you in, and you'll end up at a screen that looks a little bit like this. When you have a few free moments, I definitely recommend using our Sunday Visitors lesson planning tour, but today we're going to be clicking on that first option there to plan a lesson. So click on that, and this is, well, first, this is the basic chapter lesson plan. It's the same one that's provided in the teacher's text. On the website, you'll actually be able to download a copy of this, or if you want or need. But the main point of showing you this now is just to show you that the activities you'll be looking at on our next screen or two are the same activities here. They're the same activities in the book. It just helps you, it'll help you make some good intentional choices on them. So this is the main screen. You'll see that there's some definite tools here. You can use it to build a chapter test or even an answer key. You can use it to create a lesson plan, which is what we'll be doing for any chapter of the book, and include adaptation suggestions for students who have special needs. So we'll go ahead and you'll click on the options that you want. We will be using lesson plan and adaptive learning and special needs. If you click on that, this is what you'll be looking at next. Again, I just want to reiterate, these are the same activities and tips that are provided in the text. This will just help you choose intentionally, and it does that by giving you information about which multiple intelligences are strongest suited to a particular activity. For example, a musical learner, someone who's has a very strong affinity for music, you will want to focus on those activities. So this is just the moment where it's really wonderful just to know your kids, what they're particularly good at, what they're interested in. If you have a really active group of kiddos who really just needs to move their bodies, you might focus more on the bodily kinesthetic. Well, you might be wondering now about some of these words, so I'll just talk briefly about what I mean by learning modalities and the multiple intelligences before we move on. Different learning modalities are really just the way our brains learn best. Usually we're some combination of all three of these things. Visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Visual learners really do best when they can see it, whether it's text that's written on a board or on a poster, a photo, just something that they can hold in their hand and look at. That's visual learner. Auditory learners do best when they have verbal instructions through music. For example, just a couple of examples. I'm a pretty strong auditory learner, so I've always done pretty well in lectures. Kinesthetic learners really just learn best by using their bodies, and it might mean learning a song by doing a dance to it or by using sign language. A kinesthetic learner might also just learn well by being the one to hold the pen or a pencil and make their own notes. So just something to keep in mind for the different learning modalities. If you want to learn more about multiple intelligences, a book that I'd highly recommend, and it's just a short little text, Gifts of the Spirit, Multiple Intelligences and Religious Education by Reverend Ronald Newsey, gives great brief explanations of each of the intelligences and ways to use them specifically in our religious ed classes. So just a couple of references for you or to you to pass along to your catechist as needed. But so getting back to our screen, it's really just as simple as clicking on the activities that you want to include based on your knowledge of your class. And then once you've chosen all the activities you'd like, you just go to the bottom of the screen and click on the download queue button. And this is what you will see next. You have options to download some or all of the contents you selected. And you also have the option at this point to download the basic lesson plan that I showed you before. That'll be the same one as in the teacher's text. So this is where you'll do that. You'll print them out. And this is, you'll end up with a PDF document that looks something like this. It goes through it lists each of the activities that you chose. And it always starts out, if you chose it, with the adaptive learning and special needs. Now, something that I want to point out here is these aren't just general tips. These are tips specific to the activities and the chapter. So it's telling you how to adapt these specific activities, which is super helpful. Other than that, it'll give you the tips for adaptation, but then, just like any normal lesson plan, it will walk you through the activities that you chose. Just the supplies that you'll need, setting up the activity, how to do it. It just walks you through. It's very user-friendly until you get to your closing prayer. So I hope again that you'll see that this is something that can be used for all students and not just kids who have special needs, but really just as a way to help your catechists grow in awareness of the people who are in front of them in their classroom and getting to know them a little bit better and making more intentional choices about how they're teaching. We talk so much about teaching to diverse learners and using different modalities. This is just a great tool to help them do that, especially with busy schedules. So I know this is a brief introduction, but if you have any questions or if you want more information, you are always welcome to contact me. My number and email address are there on the screen, Erin Jeffries. And of course, feel free and just encourage your catechist to peruse our Sunday Visitors Alive in Christ website. It's very user-friendly, and they have lots of tools to help walk you through the resource.